right. Go.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, thanks.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
You see something here?
Yeah.
All
Hard.
right.
Yeah, it looks like it's split screen kind of.
Yeah, it's looking a little strange. There we go. All right. Okay, well, this is the Great Outdoors Adventures Group Discover and Explore Destination Travel Series event, where we will discover and explore the beautiful Cayman Islands in the Western Caribbean. So welcome, everybody. My name is Laura Halleck. I am the administrator and organizer for the Great Outdoors Adventures Group, and I will be monitoring this special event. I'm very excited and honored to welcome our special guest, Cheryl Hudak, who is Regional Sales Representative for the West, and Jeff Ginther, who is Regional Sales Representative from the Midwest, from the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. Before we begin this meeting, I would like to just address a few housekeeping items. Tonight's program is for members only and is not for attribution. All materials presented this evening are protected by U.S. copyright law and may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, displayed, published, or broadcasted without the prior written consent of the author or owner. If you would like to ask any questions, please do hold on to them during the presentation. We will have time at the end for an interactive Q&A together. Until then, if you could please keep yourself on mute so we can keep the background noise to a minimum, that would be greatly appreciated. Should you have any audio or visual issues, please let us know and you can send them through the chat box. And now I am excited to formally introduce to you our special guests for this evening's program, Ms. Cheryl Hudak and Jeff Ginther from the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. And Jeff, let me get your description, your bio here. Jeff Ginther, he started his career in travel in 1980 for a tour operator, marketing and selling the Cayman Islands. In 1996, Jeff was hired full-time by the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism as a sales representative for the Midwest region. His love of the Cayman Islands is evident as he became a certified diver in Cayman or Grand Cayman shortly after his employment. And he has been diving there ever since. Jeff is very knowledgeable about all three Cayman Islands, both above and below the water. Ms. Cheryl Hudak, she joined the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. She is Regional Sales Representative for the West. She also has a solid career in the travel industry and was formerly a Director of Sales for the Apple Leisure Group. So with that, let's give a big warm welcome to Ms. Cheryl Hudak and Jeff Ginther. And now I will stop sharing and I'm going to hand it all over to Jeff and Cheryl. Welcome, everybody.
Okay, as everyone, I think, can see my screen? Perfect. I'm going to go off camera just while I present, but I want to welcome you all to the Cayman Islands and thank you for taking the time to join Jeff and myself this evening. So I'm going to start with very simple. Why the Cayman Islands? We are one of the top luxury travel destinations in the world, and we do have one of the most beautiful beaches, 7 Mile Beach. This is actually one of the top beaches in the world. We have a very safe and well-developed infrastructure, some great service levels. You're going to also find, and I'll talk about in just a moment, our newly renovated airport. We have nonstop airlift from some of the major US cities. We have some great world-class hotels. We are known as the culinary capital of the Caribbean. And of course, we have amazing diving. So the Cayman Islands is actually made up of 3 islands. There's Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. So when you look at this picture here, you're going to see the coast of Florida. Then that long stretch of blue there is Cuba. You're going to see the 3 islands of Grand Cayman right underneath. And then right kind of almost in the center of the screen, you're going to see Jamaica. So we are about an hour flight from Miami, and we sit about 165 miles west of Jamaica. We are a British overseas territory. And one of the reasons I'm going to mention that is I know you guys are all renting cars. For some people, it does get perhaps a little overwhelming the first time you're driving on the opposite side of the road. Laura and I were talking at the very beginning before we went live, and one of the things someone told me the very first time I had to do it is keep my left shoulder to the curb. So it's left shoulder to the curb. Over on the east end where you guys are staying, you're not going to have quite as much traffic, but as you do head over towards Georgetown and then up to the west end, you will find a little bit more traffic. We are part of an underwater mountain range that does run between Cuba and Belize, and both the US dollar and the Canadian dollar is accepted everywhere on the islands. So Grand Cayman is our largest of the islands. It's about 22 miles long. You guys are staying down there at the far east end of the island. So when you look there in the center, you're going to see Georgetown. Right there in front of Georgetown is, if we have any cruise ships that are there while you're on island, they're going to come in right into Georgetown. So we are a tender-only port, which just simply means, and all the ships stay out in the harbor, and then they're just brought back and forth by tenders. Between Georgetown and West Bay is 7 Mile Beach, and that is the area that has one of the most beautiful beaches that you'll ever see. When you get to the center there of the North Sound, you're going to find Stingray City. I'll talk about that in just a moment. And then at the top of the West Bay area there, that's where you're going to find the Turtle Center. So it kind of gives you an idea of the layout of the island. Grand Cayman is our most cosmopolitan of the islands. So this is where you're going to have the most activity, the most sightseeing. The majority of the shopping can be found on Grand Cayman. That top shot there is Stingray City. The center is our capital, Georgetown, and that's where the cruise ship tenders will come ashore. And that bottom shot there is Camana Bay. So we have an excellent variety of accommodations. We have over 200 restaurants right in Grand Cayman alone, a variety of attractions, including Stingray City, Camana Bay, 7 Mile Beach, and Crystal Caves. Cayman Brac is one of our sister islands. So Cayman Brac is about 12 miles long. There are about 2,000 people that live on Cayman Brac, and it's really for those clients that are a little bit more adventuresome. You're going to find hiking, scuba diving, bird watching, cave exploring. So when you look at the bottom left shot there in the background, you're going to see the bluff that can be found on Cayman Brac. It's about 155 feet tall. So because of that, you're going to have some great hiking available. Center shot there is one of our wrecks. And then again, a view from the top of the bluff on the far left-hand side. So again, Cayman Brac, between Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac, will be about a 20 to 25 minute flight. Cayman Airways Express is our local carrier, and it is the only way to get between the islands. There is no ferry service offered. So if anyone decides they want to go over for a day trip, they would simply go back to the airport located right outside of Georgetown and fly over to Cayman Brac or Little Cayman. Little Cayman is our smallest of the sister islands. It's about 10 miles long and about a mile wide. Less than 200 people live here. It is for those people that really just want to R&R. It's very tranquil, very secluded, relaxing. Again, you're going to have bicycling, diving. You'll have some great wildlife. And it's about a 40-minute flight. And again, this is originating in Georgetown on Grand Cayman and flying over to Little Cayman. Now, the only thing with Little Cayman is we do not have a lit runway. So if anyone wants to come over for the day, I would recommend taking the early morning flight, and then you come back late afternoon back into Georgetown. Owen Roberts International Airport is where you're all going to be flying into. It was reopened in March of 2019 at the time by Prince Charles, now King Charles. Many of you might know that we were one of the first countries to close and one of the last countries to reopen. So we actually closed for COVID in March of 2020, and we reopened again in March of 2022. So when we really say it's kind of a new airport, it really hasn't been reopened all that long. But what we did do here is we added some new check-in facilities, departure areas, arrival halls, food court. So again, just a little bit more comfortable for your clients upon their arrival, and again, once they depart. We do really have a hotel experience for everyone. From our 5-star Kimpton Seafire to some of our dive resorts, we do have options for everyone. So some of our 3-star properties that we have on island, we have the Holiday Inn Resort. The Holiday Inn is located up on the North Shore. It does offer a shuttle service that will take you from the Holiday Inn down to 7 Mile Beach area or down to the Cayman Bay area. So again, the Holiday Inn Resort located up, heading towards the west end of the island and then up to the north. The locale is a little bit more of a boutique hotel. It's located right on 7 Mile Beach, but it is not directly on the beach. So between the resort, the locale, and the actual water, there are 2 other buildings. So it's a little pathway that you can take from the locale down the path and you're right on the beach. Has 41 rooms. It also has some efficiencies available. Sunshine Suites Resort sits across the street from 7 Mile Beach. Has 131 rooms. Again, it has everything from standard rooms up to efficiencies. Has a great little restaurant there. But the nice thing about Sunshine Suites is if you stay here, you can walk across the road, across the street, end up at the Westin and use all of the facilities at the Westin. So you can use the Westin swimming pool, you can use their lounge chairs. If you buy any drinks or food at the Westin, you can then charge it to the Sunshine Suites Resort, your room there. The Wyndham Hotel is located out on the east end. It's not too far from where you'll be staying. And this is one of the semi-all-inclusives. It is our only semi-all-inclusive that we have on the island. And again, some great diving right in this particular area as well. And our last 3-star is the Hampton. The Hampton is located again right on 7 Mile Beach, just not directly on the beach. Again, there's a building between it and the actual beach itself. It has some efficiencies available, some standard rooms. They do offer a full breakfast in the morning. They have a great little restaurant here, highly recommend for lunch, called Miss Piper's. And it's just in a really good location. We have 2 4-star properties on island, one being the Marriott Resort and the other is the Westin. Now, the Marriott does sit right on 7 Mile Beach. It is located right next door to the Hampton. The only thing currently is the beach in front of the Marriott is sort of missing in action at the moment. Right now, the water comes right up to the seawall, right up against the Marriott. So currently, they are running shuttles down past the Kimpton. They run every 30 minutes. So if at a future date you decide to stay there, you can certainly check in advance to see what type of beach, if any, that they currently have. And if not, you'll know that there is a shuttle service down a little further at the end of 7 Mile Beach. The Westin is located right on 7 Mile Beach. It's beautiful. You're right there on the water, great pool area, some beautiful lounge chairs. And this is the sister property to Sunshine Suites, which is across the street from the beach. Great shot of the Westin here. And the main reason I showed you this is I want you to be able to see from where the property is, their swimming pool, and how wide the beach area is there. On the bottom right is their lobby area. In the evening, you have a lot of music being played there. So it's a great location. So again, if you ever decide to come back or you have friends that are looking at coming down, different price points, keep in mind the Westin on the beach, Sunshine Suites across the street, but they can easily go back and forth. We have 2 5-star hotels on island, one being the Ritz-Carlton and one being the Kimpton Seafire. The Ritz-Carlton is located right on 7 Mile Beach, almost right in the middle of the 7 Mile Beach area. It does have 2 towers. It has the beach tower and it has the resort tower. And then the Kimpton Seafire is at the furthest end of 7 Mile Beach. Absolutely beautiful property, a great pool area. Both the Ritz-Carlton and the Kimpton Seafire have a splash pad for families and kids. Kimpton Seafire also has a great restaurant right down on the beach. It's called Coco Lobo, and it has, I can attest to, some great pina coladas, some great mudslides, but it also has some amazing sunsets. So it's something to keep in mind. Even though you guys are staying out on the east end, it's not that far of a drive if you're interested in going down to Coco Lobo, located at the Kimpton Seafire. And again, just kind of an overview of the Kimpton Seafire. And then we have 2 5-star boutique hotels, one being the Caribbean Club and the other Palm Heights, both located right on 7 Mile Beach. The Caribbean Club are all 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,700 square feet. They have a great restaurant located at the Caribbean Club called Luca's. And if you do stay there, they do offer room service. But even again, if you're looking for some place unique to go to dinner one evening, keep in mind Luca's at Caribbean Club. They also do a great Sunday brunch. Highly recommend if you're interested, making reservations in advance for that. Palm Heights is 52 rooms, again, located right on 7 Mile Beach, and it has 1 and 2 bedroom units available. And then we do offer some condos and villas. Cayman Villas has been around since 1970. They have approximately 85 villas and condos in their portfolio. The luxury Cayman Villas has about 18 properties. And again, these are scattered throughout the island. And again, a shot of some of the villas that you might be interested in. And these are great to keep in mind if you are coming back, or maybe some of you aren't on the dive trip that's leaving next week, and you're looking for some place to stay. Many of these will go up to 7 bedroom in size. And as you can see, they have some beautiful pool areas as well. Compass Point is where, for those of you leaving next Saturday, where you'll be staying. It is out on the east end of the island. This is Leslie. Leslie was going to try to join us this evening, but she is actually just flying back to Island today. So she is the reservation and marketing manager for the property, and she has been on the island since 2001. So the history, just to give you a little bit about where you're staying, it was started back in 1996, and really their whole idea was to introduce divers to really what the East End has to offer. It then started to expand. In 2004, the first phase of Compass Point Dive Resort opened. They opened the second phase in 2010, and then the Eagles Bar and Grill opened in 2013. So a little bit of a history. You can see some great shots there of the resort and the beach area. So again, this is Leslie provided this to me. So you're going to see Georgetown there at the point. You're going to see the airport. Right in front of the airport, you're going to find Georgetown. You're out here on the east end of the island. You're fairly close to where the Wyndham is located. So Leslie wanted to make sure that you guys were aware there's lots of other activities. I believe I have 2 people in this group that are snorkelers, but you're not diving. So you do have a lot of other activities that you can participate in while you're staying at Compass Point Dive Resort. They also have added some new ships to their fleets. They're 46-foot. These are their Newton custom dive boats. So this is something that they are very proud of. Leslie wanted to make sure I was showing a picture of this so you can kind of get an idea of what you'll expect when you arrive. Just quick overview, our 2 sister islands, we have Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. Again, all 3 of our islands will have amazing diving and snorkeling. Both of our sister islands, though, these are smaller resorts, many of them family owned. A lot of them are under 40 rooms, and a lot of them do cater to those of you that are diving. So again, something to keep in mind with Little Cayman and Cayman Brac both. So what else is there to do? Obviously, diving is one of the main things you're going to be looking at, but we are known as the culinary capital of the Caribbean. Every January, we do have the Cayman Cookout. We have some amazing restaurants on island. As I had mentioned earlier, there's over 200 restaurants with 140 nationalities. So we have a great diversity of different types of foods. We have everything from food trucks to a Pizza Hut to a Subway up to 5-star dining. So you really do have something for everyone available on island. Scuba diving, and I know this is what many of you are on this call for. You've got a great variety. We are known as really the birthplace of recreational diving. You can do a different dive site every single day of the year. We have over 365 dive sites. We have up to 100-foot visibility. Because Grand Cayman is relatively flat, we don't have that river runoff. So you're going to have some absolutely amazing visibility. We have rec, reef, and shore diving available. And then again, where you guys are staying, you've got a great dive company right there located at the hotel. So top left shot there, again, maybe you just want to break one day, a couple of hours to look into some other things to do. Top left is Crystal Caves. You've got some hiking trails available. On the bottom right-hand side there is a shot of the bluff on Cayman Brac, and then there's 2 golf courses available on island. Stingray City, if you're looking for that unique experience in something that is probably our most popular thing for clients to do, is really to take a visit out to Stingray City. So there's quite a few different companies that offer trips up to Stingray City. Some make 2 stops, some make 3 stops, but what you're eventually going to do is really end up on a shallow sandbar. It's about 3.5 to 4.5 feet deep. The guides on these boats are absolutely amazing. They'll bring the stingrays right up to you. If you're brave enough to kiss one, supposedly it's 7 years. Good luck. Crystal Caves, I just showed you a few moments ago. Again, this is located not too far actually from where you're staying. It does take about an hour and a half to go through the caves. Do make sure you have closed-toed shoes, and it is a little bit of a walk. You'll start in kind of a common area. You'll board some vans. They'll take you a little closer to the caves, but you still have a little bit of a walk once you get out of the vans to actually go into all of the caves. But again, very interesting. Some great guides that will show you through the caves. And again, about an hour and a half to 2 hours. The bioluminous, and you're going to have to check. I didn't have a chance to see where the full moon is, but this happens except when there is a full moon. So you want to be able to see this in the water. The bioluminous bay is located up in Rum Point, and I just gave you one company, Cayman Kayaks. You can kayak, you can go snorkeling, and you can also go out by boat. So again, something that's just a little bit unique and different to experience. Camana Bay is located close to 7 Mile Beach, and you've got a variety of restaurants. It sits on 650 acres. There's all kinds of shops. They do have farmers and artisan markets here. Lots of activity, lots of music in the evenings, some gelato restaurants. So there's really a great variety for different types of ways to spend the evening at Camana Bay. Some other experiences to do. The Turtle Center is heading out towards the west end of the island. Again, very educational, very informational. We offer helicopter tours. Pedro St. James is one of the oldest freestanding buildings still on island. There is a great restaurant located here. You can do rum tasting. We have different island tours. What you're looking at there is called a shot of Hell. Hell is located out on the far west end of the island, a very unique rock formation. So again, if you're looking for something else to do on one of your days or a couple of afternoons, you've got some unique activities that take place on Cayman. We also have things throughout the year. So I know Laura had shared with you, visit CaymanIslands.com, our website. You'll find if we have Pirates Week in November, some of our cookouts, different festivals. The beginning of December, we always have a marathon. So there's quite a few activities that happen throughout the year on the islands. I know for the most part, all of you are going to have a rental car, but just in case, maybe you're going out, you're going to have a few drinks and you prefer not to drive that evening, we do have a taxi service available. You can download this particular app. And then again, you can call it just as you would an Uber or a Lyft. And it's just CI and it's GO. So you can use this as well if you want to get around the island. So that's kind of an overview. I have the visit CaymanIslands.com website there. It will give you a lot of information as well. It looks like we have quite a few questions in the chat field. And Jeff is going to jump on here with me. Laura, do you want to read them to us or do you want us to go through them?
Does Jeff have something that he wants to present? Any visuals?
No, he's just kind of following up with me.
Got it. Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you, Cheryl, for sharing your presentation with us. And let me take over here real quick. Whoops. Right. All right. Thank you, Cheryl and Jeff, for sharing your Cheryl for sharing your presentation, and Jeff, thank you for helping us in that chat. It does look like we have quite a bit of questions coming up. So why don't we open it up to the group and see what other questions they have. And let's let me stop sharing here and we'll go. Whoops, I also have a map here that I didn't know if we needed to use. But there we go. Okay. All right. So there has been quite a few questions in the chat. Did they all get answered so far? Does anyone have, let me just start from the top. Any good beaches on Cayman Brac? Cheryl or Jeff want to answer that one?
I did answer it in the chat.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
That.
I think I answered everybody's question as Cheryl was talking.
Okay, I think maybe it didn't go to all. Okay, so maybe for the rest of us, I'm not seeing the answer, but Cayman Brac is not a big island, so I'm only familiar with the Cayman Brac Resort, but are there multiple beaches there that are good?
There- On the Brac, it's gonna basically, the properties usually have a way to get into the water, but they're not like 7 Mile Beach. So you're gonna, they're gonna be shallow for a long way out. It can be a little rocky in there. In turtle grass, you're not gonna get on Cayman Brac anyway, the 7 Mile Beach type of experience. So,
That'll be our next trip.
yeah, okay. I mean, if you want to just kind of lay on the sand and, you know, get a suntan, it's perfect. But if you just want to, and you can go into the water, but like I said, it's not, you know, 7 Mile Beach is sand onshore all the way out into the ocean. So
did Sherry mention we have the hiking trail also on the Cayman Island, or they all have to be in the other 2 islands?
The one that I showed you was on Cayman Brac, because that's
Oh.
where the bluff was, yes.
Okay, do we have a good hiking trail on the Cayman Island?
Jeff,
well, it's
I'm
mean,
aware of
the
the Mastic Trail.
that's on Grand Cayman. So you
Right.
have that. It just depends on what you want to do and where you want to hike. But Mastic Trail is an established trail that you can take. Little Cayman, really, you can do pretty much anything you want. We always said that if you go around the island in a rental car and you pass another car, that's considered rush hour. So, yeah.
But the Little Cayman, you have to fly there, right? That's no, that's
Yes.
to me is too much hassle. You have to go to airport and fly to those 2 places.
So
It's an
Grand
easy
Cayman.
flight.
yeah, what's on Grand Cayman, I think, because most of us are going to be going to Grand. Well, those of us
We'll
that are on
stay.
the trip. The trip that we're referencing is the Cayman Islands Diving and Snorkeling Adventure, which is posted in the 3H Hiking Club as well as in the Great Outdoors Adventures group. That is coming up August the 12th through the 19th. We have 10 people signed up for that, and we are staying at the Compass Point, which was the resort that Cheryl was highlighting there. So that's where we're going to be. We don't at this present time have any plans to go to Cayman Brac this time.
Yeah. So Laura, do you
but-
think we'll have time to do a hike? I just want to see if I need to bring my hiking shoes.
Bring your hiking shoes. Bring something that's comfortable to walk in on the Grand Cayman. I'm aware of the Mastic Trail. If there's other places to hike, I don't see why we can't walk on the beach or, you know. So I'm going to bring shoes that are good for on trail, like all terrains. They're good for on the trail, or I can walk in water.
Got it.
Okay.
And and reach out to Leslie at the hotel, because I'm sure she knows of trails that aren't publicized anywhere. Plus also, Cheryl, I was answering questions, so sometimes I was zoned out, but I'm sure Cheryl mentioned the Botanic Park. And that's a big park, and there's a lot of walking in there that you can do also.
Yeah, it's Queen Elizabeth Botanical Gardens, and they are absolutely gorgeous. And it's kind of out between Georgetown and the East End. It's located in that area. So like Jeff just said, it's a very extensive gardens, and they're absolutely beautiful, but you've got a lot of walking in that area as well.
Awesome.
So to my understanding, we're going to have afternoons available to do tours and excursions. So I have sent some information. Annie, let me know if you did not receive some of that. But we are going to do the Kitty Wake Rec, Jeff, on Tuesday. There's only one day a week that they go. I have been in touch with Leslie a little bit, so we do have that scheduled. It's a 10-person max. We got the boat. We're also planning the Stingray City. I understand that goes out every day, I think, Cheryl. So we're planning to do that, but we will have afternoons to do whatever we want. We'll have the Turtle Center. We have a educational program tour scheduled for Friday. That's the day that we have all day to do whatever we want, because we can't dive because we're leaving on Saturday. So those are some of the things that we already have in the works, but otherwise, yeah, let's explore and let's enjoy this beautiful island that Cheryl and Jeff are giving us some great information about. I just know that the traffic on the west, or at least I've been advised, traffic on the west side can be kind of heavy. Can you talk to that, Cheryl or Jeff?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are times that, especially as a little bit more so than what Jeff was referencing with the one car you're going to pass on Little Cayman. But yeah, you're going to have you're going to have some roundabouts, which sometimes, again, when you're driving for the very first time and you get into the roundabout, you kind of have to really think about what you're doing. So between Georgetown and heading up towards the West End, you're definitely going to hit a little bit more traffic. A lot of that is 4 lanes. But again, as long as you're taking it slow, like I said, my first time I ever did it, I was told, keep my left shoulder to the curb. And that's kind of what I remember. And it is really not that difficult to be able to get around.
We're advised to stay out of the rush hour. So,
and that's, it's like any place, it's that early morning and then around dinner time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the tour at the Turtle Center, which is West Side, that's going to be 10 a.m. So I figure maybe an hour or 2 for that. And, we can do some more exploring there. We got to go to Hell, right? That's okay.
Exactly. You're fairly close to Hell. And then, if you're coming back to do lunch, whether you stop, you won't see the sunset, obviously, in the afternoon with Coco Lobo, but there's certainly a lot of great restaurants there that you'll be passing by, that you'll be able to do lunch or dinner that evening.
Right.
And those divers that might be interested in photography, when you're down in the West Bay area or Georgetown area, you might want to stop at Sunset House, because Kathy Church, who is a world-renowned underwater photographer, she has her gallery there and a little shop, and typically she's there. And
I would like to see the property. We were scheduled, our last trip to the Caymans was pre-COVID. COVID canceled it. But we were spending a week at the Sunset House.
Okay, yeah.
So I would love to stop in, and I would love to check that out.
Yeah, and they have a great bar that's on the water. And if you're stopping for lunch, it's reasonably priced. And the food is pretty good there.
Question in terms of a place to dive. Has anybody heard of the Blue Wall? That was brought up to us this weekend when we were out at Lake Pleasant for the certification. Have you ever heard of the Blue Wall?
I have not heard of the Blue Wall. There's wall diving. Typically on the East End, that's what you're going to be doing. There's a lot of swim throughs in that area.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I was live when I was saying that, but Steve Broadbelt, who owns Compass Point and Ocean Frontiers, he's done a lot of his own little dive adventures. So he has his own dive. I don't know. You may have seen it in his, I don't even remember what he calls it. But there's one dive where he'll tell you you're gonna see a lot of sharks, and he takes you there. And so he was actually, because on all 3 Cayman Islands, we have 365 dive sites.
Yeah.
I want to say that one of our competition within the Caribbean, I think the most they have is 80. But Steve was actually one of the people who developed all these dive sites. And in Cayman, all the dive sites, except if you go to Stingray City, have mooring balls because the boats are not allowed to drop their anchor on the reef. So they have to hook up to a mooring ball, one boat per mooring ball. And so if it's a dive site that you want to go to, someone's there, you have to kind of stay behind until that boat leaves. Then you could tie up to it.
That's a good idea. Keeps it safe.
So in terms of diving, Jeff, on the east end, what are some dive sites that we'll probably be visiting and what can we expect? I mean, you
God,
talked about the sharks. A lot of sharks.
Yeah.
Never seen a shark before.
He's going to have them mapped out for you, but what he'll do typically, what they will do, especially if you have your own boat, they're going to ask you, like, what do you want to see? And then they'll take it from there. You know, he's got a great staff there. They're going to do a great job. I don't know if Cheryl got into this, but when you check into the hotel, they're going to give you a little, kind of reminds me of the plastic crates that they put milk cartons in. They're going to give you one of those. You take it up to your room with you. You put all your dive equipment into it and set it by the door. They come and pick it up. The next day, all your equipment is on the boat. Typically, they will have you set it up the first day. And they can see that you know what you're doing. After that, they will set it up if you want them to. They will rinse it, they'll hang it, so you never have to touch your equipment if you don't want to.
It's
They
part of the
will either-
ballet, right?
Yeah, they'll
Yes.
put it on you at the back of the boat and take it off you when you come up from your dive.
Those
So
tanks
he-
are heavy.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
they're heavy. Yeah, so.
And I will tell this because I heard Cheryl mention about the taxi service. For those that are going on the dive trip, I will warn you that if you take a taxi, let's say you got into Georgetown and say, well, I'm going to stay later, you guys go, I'll take a taxi back. You're going to pay for that taxi to get you to Ocean Frontiers, and they're going to charge you for their fare going back because they're not going to find a return fare. So it's
Mhm.
not inexpensive to take a taxi out to Ocean Frontiers.
Good advice. Any other questions? I was just looking over the chat. Let's see. I know you answered them, Jeff. One was, can you get certified there? Yes, you can. But Jeff is correct that they're going to tell you to do your book. You'll get online materials to study. There'll be a test. You'll do your pool work locally, and then you can set up to have your certification done with a dive master on your trip. Some people don't want to go into a lake, period. I understand, but I recommend people get certified here first, and then you can use all the time and all your resources invest into the trip and just enjoy it. Because it is work, but once you get it done, you're good to go. You can go anywhere. So hopefully I answered that. If you're looking to get certified here, become a diver here, I do have a list of shops that I recommend, and I can send that to you. Okay. What else here? Does Cayman Islands get hurricanes? It doesn't seem like you guys get hurricanes very often.
No. And you know what? The funny thing is that you want to tell people, we were hit by Ivan in 2001, I think it was. That was the first hurricane that directly hit the Cayman Islands in 75 years. So most of the people, I always kind of chuckle because friends of mine that live on the island said when there's a hurricane warning, Cayman shuts down the water and they shut the electricity down. So you have to fill your bathtub if you need water. And so people fill their bathtubs. but it was kind of like it's a hurricane party because they all get out of work early. And that one, I had some friends that were on a veranda, and they said, what is the white stuff, in the distance? And it was actually the surge coming over the water. They had never experienced that before.
Oh, wow.
We haven't had a direct hit since that. I mean, there's been storms and pretty, was it last year, Cheryl?
Yeah,
or the
last
year
September
before?
it wasn't even quite a category 1 that hit at the end of
Yeah.
September last year. And it was
And they were
really some
expecting a
flooding.
big one.
Yeah, some water damage. A few of the docks had a little bit of damage, but there was no structural damage to buildings or anything like that.
And typically Cayman will get it September, October. That's, but you can't say that because it's Mother Nature. It can happen anywhere from June 1st to November 30th. And there was one that hit the Brac, and it was actually unusual because that was, I want to say Palermo, something like that. But it was like the first week of December, which was unheard of, that a hurricane passes through at that late of the year, but it did. So, I mean, it's Mother Nature. But they normally have fair warning, and Cayman has an excellent program to evacuate the island. They have Cayman Airways, and they do nothing but take people from Grand Cayman or the sister islands and take them into Miami to get them out of danger.
Well, I've also advised, especially since we're going in August, to get travel insurance. That was probably one of the major top of my list, was what if, what would happen if, everything got canceled, and, so that's what I'm recommending. Do not have to use the company that I recommend. There's a ton of different, a lot of different companies, but I do recommend travel insurance to safeguard against should there be a storm and things get canceled. Let's see, what else is there. For some of us who are new, is there a spot to find upcoming trips? I think that would be more for me. Right now, I post my trips on the meetup at the 3H Hiking Club. Okay, so you can see them there. We also have a private group. It really is just a bunch of us from several different hiking clubs. And we do all kinds of things. We hike, we raft, we kayak, right, Laura? We also go scuba diving. And so usually once or twice a year, I post diving trips. I think of diving. You can dive any time of the year, anywhere. I think of diving mainly for summer and early fall, because we go to the Sea of Cortez. Usually October is the best time to go, and air temperatures are down, but the water temperatures are still great, and visibility is usually pretty good. This year I may not be doing that, but you can look for the trips in the meetup, or you can join our group, the Great Outdoors Adventures group. You're welcome to join us there. Any other questions? I think there was a question about the beaches, but you did answer that. I had a question about that too. I know, Carolyn, you're here. Was that your question about where to snorkel and how to snorkel off Compass Point? Maybe not. But
no, I didn't ask, although I was interested, but I think who asked that?
That's a great question. Whoever asked it, it's a great question, because
I think it was Emma.
they are not going to let the snorkelers come on the dive boat with us. So they'll have the mornings to snorkel. And I don't know, I'd like to come join you. And so maybe we go to some, snorkeling sites independently ourselves. But can Cheryl or Jeff, can you talk to any recommendations of where you can snorkel, best to snorkel, safe to snorkel, where you wouldn't need necessarily a boat to get to it, so offshore?
I mean, pretty much anywhere you can do that. A good place to go and very nice snorkeling spot is, if you can make time for it when you go to the Turtle Center, to stop at Cemetery Beach, which is on 7 Mile Beach.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And there's great snorkeling there. There's actually, I mean, because of the way that the water is, I mean, it's kind of amateur, but by the Marriott, there's good snorkeling. I think there's I mean, and of course you have to be in that area, but if you're ever in the area of the Kimpton Sea Fire, there's a little reef in that area. Before Kimpton was there many, many years ago, I used to walk down there because they have a little reef that in the mornings and in the evenings, you get fish, turtle, and everything that come and eat around that reef. And it kind of hits the shore and goes back out, but it's a real nice area. Around by, I've never snorkeled over by Compass Point. I know that he's going to tell you that, and they may just tell you stay out of this area at certain times, like when the boat comes back for lunch. They don't want snorkelers in that area, but you can walk down the beach area, and it's kind of a residential area, but I'm sure there's good snorkeling in there, and also at by Rum Point.
Rum Point, okay.
Yeah. Did you look up Starfish Beach at all? Because over by Rum Point, you'll see it called Starfish
yeah.
Point
Yeah.
and Starfish Beach. But that's, I mean, it's kind of a beach area, but these red starfish come like right up to shore.
Wow.
Hey, are there any opportunities for snorkelers to actually take boat rides out to maybe a little offshore snorkeling?
I can answer and then Jeff, but Compass Point does have snorkel tours, and I do plan to do one of them. And I think I mentioned something in one of my many emails that I sent. But yes,
I did see one to a reef, a boat
that's
ride
just
to a
one.
reef.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
one. So
Okay, so Compass Point does do separate boat rides for snorkelers. Okay, good to know.
yes, you have to look at the times. A lot of them seem to be leaving in the afternoon, like 1:30. But yes, that is a yes. And Jeff, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, like I said, I typically don't snorkel in that area, so I'm not exactly sure what they offer, but I would highly recommend going with them at least once, just to see what they're going to show you.
Mhm.
But
Going
you
with
know,
who?
I'm sorry.
Ocean
Going-
Frontiers.
Oh,
from our-
okay,
from
okay.
Compass Point, yeah, that's where we're going to be booking the these tours through them.
And
But these
you know,
are all cost extra for the snorkel.
These are extra.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's going to be a cost no matter what. The Turtle Center, there's going to be an admission fee. But if it's a tour, I've been looking to book through Compass Point. I think that just makes sense. Especially boat tours. I would love to be taken to some pristine snorkeling site, but as well, we're going to be doing that diving. I'm sure is diving some really pristine reefs out there on the east
Yeah,
end.
because I like to do a little deeper snorkeling than usual, beyond the surface sometimes can't go real deep, but
You're brave. I'll only do it if I got a BC.
Yeah.
BC and a regulator, and then I'm good, but not too much for free diving, but
yeah, see, the regulator is what scares me.
no, yeah, I love it. But,
Laura, how many car rentals will we have?
Laura, okay, yes, I sent all that information in one of my many emails, but we have Avis. You should look for that email because it has the confirmation numbers for your rentals. We have Avis car rental, and it's supposed to be across the street from the airport. Is that a long walk, Cheryl or Jeff?
No, it's very close.
Okay,
Actually, when you come into the airport, it's not that large of an airport. After you claim your luggage and you come through, you're going to walk right outside, turn to the left, and you literally walk not even 5 minutes across a little 2-lane, and all the car companies are right there, including Avis.
Okay, because I'm going to have a rolling suitcase, a rolling duffel bag with my dive gear, and a carry-on. So I'm trying to picture how I'm going to do that. But if it's close and convenient, yeah.
How
But
many
you know
cars?
what typically we do if we rent a car, one person goes get the car and the rest of somebody else stays with the luggage and they just
Oh,
bring the car.
yeah, that's excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll wait at the airport.
So,
Or they'll just have to watch my bags. I'll go get it. It doesn't matter, but that's a great idea. Yeah, because I've been thinking, well, how am I gonna work that? But minor details.
And they do have
Um,
carts.
To
Now,
take the rental car?
well, they have carts at the airport that you can use and there's no charge for them. And believe me, I don't think you're supposed to take them over to the rental car place,
That's what I thought.
but I do see a lot of carts at the rental car place.
Oh, probably
So,
for the same reason.
yes, yes.
So, but, all right, any more questions?
Yeah,
This has been
just,
wonderful, really in-depth questions, I think. This is,
Just a general health question.
mhm.
You know, when you go to Mexico, you always stay with the bottled water. You don't drink the ice. You don't, certain foods you don't eat, lettuce or what have you. Is there anything we should be aware of down there? I'm not sure how the water is or, you know.
No, it's perfectly fine. You can, and I'm the same way when I go to Mexico, you know, I kind of avoid everything you just said. But
Yeah,
down there, you'll have no issues. You know, drinking the water, the ice, the salads, all that type of thing, you're perfectly fine.
the only reason I ask is I've had some friends, we travel a lot in my job and some friends that have really picked up some bad things from places. And so
Yeah,
that's.
that's happened to me too.
you know,
Good
and it
question.
just happens. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. So we're okay then, sounds like.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
and, you know, on that note, just on a safe side, you know, maybe keep something in your little travel kit, you know, Pepto-Bismol or something for
Exactly.
upset stomach. I do recommend, bringing, items for seasickness. Jeff, you said you got seasick. Laura last year got a patch from her doctor because our liveaboard, well, started out really rough, huh, Laura? It was like dun 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 dun, and everybody was sick. I thought I was gonna be. I got lucky, but there was a moment I thought I was gonna be, you know, like everybody else. But so just keep that in your little dive or snorkel travel kit. You know, there's the Dramamine for motion sickness, seasickness. There's also Bonine. Or if you know, or pretty much are sure you're going to get it, then, you know, consult with your doctor. I know, Laura, you got a patch. Is there medication or just a patch that they give you?
well, it is medication, but it's a prescribed patch.
Prescribed patch. Okay.
And I got some more for this trip too.
Did you? Good idea. Good idea. Yeah. So that was a little rough, just the first day, or actually the first night. I mean, we were only like, what, an hour, not even out of Rocky Point, and oh my God.
Now, is that over the,
So,
can you get that over the counter?
no,
No, it's
Okay. Okay, the patch is prescription.
prescription.
Can you get anything else over the counter?
like 2 days
Oh,
or
okay.
so. So you'd have to get from your doctor though.
Well, you can get
Dramamine.
Bonine and all of those over the counter.
Those are over
It's
the
just
counter.
that the patch, you have to get through a doctor.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but the patch works wonders.
The patch does, yeah, and you don't have to keep, you know, retaking every day.
Dramamine did nothing for me, but the patch worked.
Dramamine can make me sleepy, so I'll only take that as a last resort. But so far I've been okay. I say so far, you never
Yeah.
know. But any other questions? Is it looking like we're getting close to the hour here, and they've all been really excellent questions.
I just-
So Laura, again, like how many cars for the 10 people? Is it
we have one car per room.
1 car per room? Okay.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
one car. Mhm.
Okay.
They're going to be compacts, just to let you know. We're not getting Jeeps. We're not getting 4-wheel drives.
So you just have to figure out the driver.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Who wants to drive first? I don't know. Me and my roommate, we've both said it doesn't really matter, but one person drives, the other one navigates. Right.
Mhm.
I always say, whoever is in the passenger seat, you got a job to do.
But we're
You're not gonna just sit back and take a nap.
not Google Maps thing. you said.
Yeah, I wonder if the navigator would work down there.
Yeah,
Off your cell
can,
phone.
Cheryl, Jeff, what should we expect in terms of,
Internet connections. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I have Verizon on my personal phone and my work phone,
Mhm.
and you'll get a little message once you land and turn it on. And it will ask you if you want to use the service. And Jeff and I were talking earlier, I think it's $10 per day. And every time I've been down there that I've needed it, I've had no problem with the maps working.
Okay.
Okay,
I
excellent.
would check with your carrier because some of you might have service even, but again, I don't know. That's just my service with Verizon. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's $10 per day, so it makes it fairly easy to be able to get around. Jeff, I don't know if you've experienced anything else.
No, it's pretty good. And Compass Point, I've been staying there for a few years, but they've always had very good Wi-Fi. So that's good. And then my suggestion, all of you people who have a car, you're gonna pass up 3 grocery stores on your way to Compass Point.
Okay.
One is right by the airport, which is a Foster's. Then you have Hurley's, which is on the way to Compass Point. And then closer to Compass Point, there's another Foster's. I've never been in that one. That's a new one. But, you know, pick up things for the room. I would suggest you pick up if you're going to have wine or beer or something like that, pick that up and take it with you to the property.
Are they both, are Foster's and Hurley's about the same in what they offer or does one have more stuff than the other?
Well, the only thing, Hurley's is probably, you're out of the congestion area of the airport. And I will tell you this, they have a grocery store, and next to the grocery store is a liquor store, and you can actually pass through within the grocery store. So it might
We
be
were
easy.
advised of Hurley's, yeah, but sorry.
Yeah, I would stop at Hurley's, and price-wise, I'm sure they're gonna be about the same. But for convenience sake, and to get out of the airport area, you can go to Hurley's.
Especially with us driving.
So I was planning for us to stop at Hurley's. That was what had been advised. And it sounds like from what Jeff has explained is we can get everything done there.
We can just caravan down there.
somewhere
then.
where,
Yeah,
yeah, away from the airport, away from traffic, and just, yeah, stop along the way and then get over to the resort. So we are out of time, but any other questions, you can email me, and you can also contact Cheryl or Jeff. Contact me and I can put you in touch with Cheryl. But either way, we'll get your questions answered. I do want to thank everyone for coming tonight. And also I want to thank our special guests, Jeff and Cheryl. I'm going to just share my screen one more time real quick. And we'll close. Maps. In closing, if there's no more questions, I'd like you to please help me in thanking our special guests, Cheryl and Jeff, for sharing their excellent presentation and all the wonderful information with us. We really appreciate your coming to speak to us this evening. Also, be sure to look for our next upcoming Discover and Explore Destination Travel Series program, which we will have again soon. And it will be announced at our Facebook group, the Great Outdoors Adventures group, and the 3H hiking club on Meetup. But once again, let's give a big thanks to Cheryl and Jeff for coming to speak to us tonight. We really appreciate all the wonderful information, and it's been a really great evening and a lot of fun. So thank you so much. And lastly, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so
Great,
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
great
your
information.
time.
Thank
You have a great time on your trip.
Oh, we're so excited. We can't wait. But and lastly, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us, taking time out of your busy schedule to come for this Discover and Explore special event. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and have a wonderful week. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Cheryl and Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care
you.
now.
Bye. Have a good night.
bye-bye.
Bye.